Hey you guys, welcome back and thanks again for tuning in. Today I'm going to be doing a getting to know me video and answering some questions I've received over the last couple of weeks. So if you're new, hi, I'm Merritt. I write the blog The Style Scribe, which talks about fashion and travel and beauty and lifestyle content like my workouts and diet and all of that fun stuff. I grew up in Austin in a small neighborhood called Tarrytown, which is central west Austin. I go back a lot because my family still lives in Austin. I have one sister, her name is Alexandra, and she works at Neiman Marcus at the Domain in Austin. So if you ever need help with shopping, she's the person to go to. She's amazing. I usually don't trust people to pull clothes for me because generally I don't feel like they do a good job, but she's excellent. She always knows what's going to look good on me. And then I also have 5 step siblings, which you may have seen on my Snapchat every once in a while. Where did you go to college and what did you major in? I went to SMU, Southern Methodist University, following my sister's footsteps in Dallas. We were both Kappa Alpha Thetas, Beta Sigma, and loved it. I loved SMU. I majored in psychology, which is sort of random considering I am a fashion blogger now, but I really loved it. I found it so interesting. At one point, I even wanted to be a nurse or maybe even a psychologist. So that's why I did that. But let's see, what is some advice you'd give to college students? The number one piece of advice I can give you is to get as many internships throughout your college career as possible. I had one almost every semester and summer throughout college, which really helped me identify what I liked and didn't like about certain jobs so that when I got into the actual workforce and could work full time, I had a better idea of what I wanted to do. And obviously the more work experience you have, the better your chances of finding a job faster when you graduate. So definitely get as many internships as you can. Let's see, what did you do before blogging? So before blogging, I guess I'll go back to college real fast. I'll try not to go off on a very long tangent with this. But when I was at SMU, one of my internships was actually as the intern under the style editor at D Magazine, which was my first introduction and foray into fashion publishing. I'd had various fashion internships and kind of small odd jobs throughout college. But this was really my first introduction into that. And I worked, like I said, directly under the style editor. I assisted her in photo shoots. I pulled clothes for her at Neiman Marcus for various things. I did a lot of fact checking and writing blurbs for different things for the website. And I loved every second of it. Unfortunately, when I graduated in 2009, the job market was awful and I was too scared to risk moving somewhere like New York to try and get a job in fashion. And also, my friends who do live there and got jobs in fashion had already been going to New York every summer to intern at big fashion houses. So they had way more of a leg up on me. I didn't know I wanted to do that until later. So I decided to stay in Dallas and just try and find a job. And so I found one in marketing and sales at an outsourcing company. And I basically did a lot of cold calls, which I found out I'm actually pretty good at, although I hate talking on the phone. But a lot of cold calls. I helped them with social media. I don't really remember what else I did. It was so long ago, but it was a lot of marketing and sales stuff. I want to say I did something with their email newsletter. Anyway, that was my first job outside of college. And then I moved to Houston after that, and it was for a boy. Didn't last very long after I moved there, but I moved to Houston and ended up getting a job in PR. So that was sort of my first foray into that side of the industry. That's when I really started working in social media and getting acquainted with that. We obviously had Facebook all through college. The amount of albums I have on Facebook is actually ridiculous. I've tried to make them private because nobody needs to see those. But the job I had in PR was for a company called Integrate PR in Houston, which is still around, but I think they are just called Integrate now. And I was a social media account executive, and I worked on brands like Imperial Sugar and various restaurants in Houston. I think one of their clients at the time was like Massage Envy, and I helped them with their social media campaigns and kind of running those pages like Facebook and Twitter. Instagram, I don't think it existed when I had started there anyway. But at that time, when I was working there, about halfway through, the guy that I'd moved to Houston, we ended up breaking up. And while I loved Houston and I made friends there, it definitely didn't feel like my city. And so that's actually when I started my blog. It was sort of a good time for me. I had a little extra free time on my hands. And so I was working full time at this PR agency doing social media. And then I started my blog as a hobby on the side. And it just sort of became the blog then. I don't know if you know this, but when I first started the blog, it was called Manolas and Martinis, Faceplant. It was terrible. After about a year, I decided to change the name, and it's been the Style Scribe ever since, but that's sort of embarrassing. It was an awful name. But yeah, so that's when I started my blog. Somebody asked, if you weren't a blogger, what would you do? I would probably still be working in marketing and social media in some way, whether that was for a fashion house or for an agency. I feel good about what I do in marketing. I really enjoy it. I really like branding and connecting with people. So I think I would still be working in the marketing space for sure. What do you want to be doing in 5 years? This is sort of a tricky question. I'm 30, so what will I want to be doing when I'm 35? Ideally, I'd like to still be doing something similar to what I'm doing, whether that means still doing a blog every day, still doing videos. I'm not sure if that's what I'll be doing, but if I can segue this blog business into something else that I can keep doing, even if and when I have kids, something that I can still do on the side, that would be great because I love to work. Sitting around all day just is not, it's not me. Not that having kids and doing that is sitting around all day. You know, I don't mean that. But I like to be doing stuff. So it would be great to be able to flex my creative muscles and continue to do that. So I'm not sure yet. I'll get back to you. What career did you want to have as a kid? In all seriousness, I always told my mom I wanted to be a snow cone salesman or woman. I don't know why, I just love snow cones. In Austin, we have a place called Snow Beach. We still do. There are like 3 or 4 locations. Best snow cones ever. Every flavor that exists you can get. And I just loved them. The only downfall is that there are bees everywhere and I hate bees. They're like, that's one of my biggest fears is stinging insects. I hate bees. So that didn't end up working out for me, but I still go to Snow Beach whenever I can and I'm in Austin. Let's see. You seem to love dogs in your snaps. Do you see yourself getting one soon, and what kind? I do love dogs. I love dogs so much. One of my internships that I was mentioning in college was actually for the SPCA of Texas, and I sort of helped run their summer camp, which meant a lot of time to play with dogs. I love dogs. Cats are okay. I like cats too, but not nearly as much as dogs. I do want to get a dog eventually, but I am being selfish right now and I want to keep my new furniture at my new house perfectly pristine for as long as possible. I also want to get back into traveling once I have saved up enough money to continue to do so. All my money is going towards the house right now. And so with that, I don't want to limit myself by having to invest in boarding my dog. I also have heard, I have friends that have dogs that have paid outrageous vet bills. My sister even, she has 3 dogs. Crazy. Just kidding. Love you. But I'd rather spend my money on other things right now. So eventually, once I'm settled down and I know I'm going to be staying somewhere for a while, I definitely want to get a dog. I'm not sure what I want to get, but I do love bulldogs of all kinds. My step siblings all have them. My sister has 3 mixed breeds that she adopted. And they're great too and all adorable. So I don't know what I'll get, but I'll probably adopt considering I have a fondness for the SPCA. So, what are you most excited about in your new home? Definitely the closet. Customizing that was so much fun. And I'm just really excited to have my own space from start to finish. Being part of the process has been so much fun. Choosing fabrics, choosing the layout, helping with all of that has been so much fun. So I can't wait to actually be living in it. What are your biggest fears? So I told you the bees. Bees are scary. Wasps, any of those things. I hate those. I hate flying, although really only when it's turbulent. If it's not turbulent, I'm easy peasy. But one thing I have yet to get over and probably never will is my fear of heights. It's It's not so much looking out of a plane. That doesn't really terrify me. It's if I'm in a building and there's a railing and it's really far down, or like a patio in an apartment complex that's really high. Like, I hate that stuff. I'm that person, if I'm staying at a hotel, this actually happened at a friend's wedding in Nashville. I was on like the 22nd floor, and I would, every time I had to go from my room to the elevator and back, I would edge against the opposite wall because it was an open air atrium. Somebody could just fall over. Just hated it. It was awful. The hotel was fine, but I was terrified the entire time, every time I walked to and from my room. Terrible. So those are probably my biggest fears, flying and heights. Definitely don't like heights. Do I have a favorite childhood vacation spot? I don't know if this is so much a childhood spot because I've only been going there since 7th grade, but I mean, it's a pretty long time to be going to the same place every year. My grandparents bought a timeshare when I was in 7th grade in Carlsbad, California, which is about 30 to 45 minutes, I think it's north of San Diego. It's near La Jolla and Rancho Santa Fe. My granddaddy always loved to golf, and so it's a golf resort. But the weather is beautiful, and we've just gone every year since they got it. And I'm actually taking my friends there for my 30th birthday this summer to celebrate. So I'm looking forward to that. But it's great restaurants. It's easy access to a bunch of different cool cities. We've always loved it. So excited about that this summer. Let's see. Favorite childhood memory. I don't know. I feel like I have to go through like old photos to find that. So I'm gonna skip that question for now. Maybe I'll come back to it. What's your favorite movie? So this is going to be not just one movie, but movies, and you'll know why in a second. So growing up, Harry Potter was always my favorite book to read. I read them right after the other. Every time they came out, I was glued to it until I was done, and I kept reading them. Like, I'd read the whole series and I'd start all over again. I always just discovered something new every time I read them. And the same way about the movies. There's just something, if you grew up with Harry Potter, you'll know this. There's just, not to be cliche, there's something so magical about them. I just love them so much, and I don't know, I have a wild imagination, so I've always really enjoyed fantasy type things like that. I mean, you also know I love the Vampire Diaries. I know I like the worst taste in TV and movies, but I've always loved that. Whenever I'm feeling sick, like if I'm hungover or just I have the flu or something, I will binge watch and do a marathon of Harry Potter any day. It's just great. Let's see. This was sort of randomly thrown in here. What is your middle name? It's Elizabeth. There were like 10 other Elizabeths when I was growing up, so I'm glad it was my middle name. What is your biggest guilty pleasure? Flamin' Hot Cheetos. And I really like the regular ones with lime. But lately, or recently I should say, I discovered Flamin' Hot Cheeto Puffs about 6 months ago, and it's my new favorite thing. Anytime I'm wanting late night after a fun night out, or I'm not feeling that great, it's definitely my guilty pleasure. I can eat bag on bag of those things. They're addictive. I just love spicy food, and it's addictive. Let's see. What would you say are your biggest faults and weaknesses? I actually asked my mom and Morris this question because I thought I had them, and I wanted to make sure that we were all on the same page before I shared. And my stepdad said, well, am I going to get in trouble for telling you what I think your biggest faults are? And I said, only if I don't like them. So I did include one that he suggested. The first two I came up with. I feel like I'm pretty self-aware and know where I need to improve things. The first one, I am very impulsive. I wish that I thought things through before taking action. It's usually when I'm irritated about something. I may go off on a tangent on Snapchat, for example, and then later regret it, or regret going into how much detail I went into. So I'm also this way about travel. If I want to go somewhere, I'll book it and then realize that I can't actually afford any of the hotels in the area. I've done that before, like total bonehead move. But I need to be better about that. I need to do more research or think more thoroughly before taking action on certain things. I just get so excited, or in some cases angry, to do it. The second thing, I am such a control freak, and it's mostly Mostly about business stuff, but also just in my life. Like I prefer to be the one driving. Even if somebody's a better driver than me, I feel safer being in the driver's seat than being in the passenger seat. I don't know why I am the way I am in that regard, but also with blogging, because what I do is about me, I'm the brand, I'm not like pushing a product, for example. For example, I don't think I could ever have a ghostwriter on my site because it's got to be coming from me. It's got to be my words, how I speak. I'm very much a perfectionist in this way, which is why I feel like I've been sort of bad about hiring people, because generally I've had a hard time letting things go when hiring people and allowing people to do their jobs because I want to take control and do it myself. And then this was the one Morris suggested, that I'm impatient. Absolutely. I'm definitely impatient. And I think this goes hand in hand with the control freak thing. For example, my mom is so lovely and gracious and helps me with photography. So does my sister, but they've gotten mad at me a few times because I want something done a certain way and it's not happening. And it's not like I should expect them to know how to do it because I'm the one with the camera. But it's things like that that I need to be better about, kind of not pushing or rushing people. I'm also always early, so I think that has something to do with it. So let's see, biggest strengths. This is not the word that I picked, but it's similar. I picked the word driven and hardworking, and my mom used the word industrious. So I feel like that is a great strength of mine, that I, as a self-employed person, not having a boss, I can force myself to get up and get shit done. I do. I love to work. And so yeah, that's that. I think my friends would say that I'm fiercely loyal, have your back anytime. And I'm really good at holding grudges. If you don't like someone and you're my friend, I won't like them either. And I am very intuitive about people. This has really been helpful in business and in dating, I would say. My gut instincts are usually right about people. I don't know if it's because of my my psychology background in college, but I generally feel like I get a good read on somebody the first time I meet them. So it's helpful. Okay, and then this last thing, it's a hard question to answer off the cuff, and I should have done more research in my own closet and looking around my room upstairs, but this question is, what 5 items do you think every woman should own? And the person who asked this said I could talk about travel stuff, beauty, I don't know, what else? Clothes, obviously. But I'm gonna stick with clothes because that's easier, and I feel like everyone requires different things beauty-wise, so I'm just not even gonna try and go there. One thing that I think everyone should have is a simple pair of diamond or CZ studs. These aren't real. I wear them every day, but they look like real diamonds. They're just clean and classic. They are professional enough for the office and simple enough for that, but look just as great with a cocktail dress or dressed up for date night. They go with everything. I like pearls too, but sometimes pearls can verge on too preppy for me with certain outfits, and these are just a no-brainer. I literally wear them all the time. And I love statement earrings for summer and for special occasions, but generally this is what I wear every single day. Let's see. The one item that I've surprisingly gotten so much use out of and have continued to invest in is a neutral coat of some kind. Now, I don't mean a heavy winter coat. I mean a trench or a drapey kind of belted coat that you can wear multiple different ways. You can layer it over anything for travel. It looks great with all kinds of colors. I've worn it with black, white, bright colors. It's just such a sleek piece that you can literally take from the office to the plane to walking around and being a tourist in a new country. Like literally the options are endless, and I'm always cold, so it's an added layer for that. Yeah, so I recommend getting one of those. So that's 2. A pair of pointy toe pumps I think is also great. Because again, you can wear it for the office, you can wear them for a date night, to church, something in a neutral color for sure, like a nude is what I would recommend. I do have a pair of black pumps, but I don't wear them nearly as often. I think and my battery's about to go out. Shoot. Okay, let me change batteries and I'll switch into the second part of this answer. Okay, my apologies for that. Sorry, my camera was about to die. So, okay, so I listed the neutral trench. I listed the diamond or CZ earrings like I'm wearing, a nude pointy toe pump. And the reason I say pointy toe, they elongate your legs. It's classic. It will never go out of style. It looks professional. I like them better. I think they're more flattering and more sexy and more versatile than a round toe pump. I also might recommend patent over smooth lambskin. It'll scratch less. It will feel like it looks a little nicer sometimes. I don't know. So pointy toe pumps. Okay, so 2 more options. Definitely a classic neutral handbag. There's not really a specific style, I would say, but definitely get something in black or nude. Those are the 2 colors that I find to be the most versatile in my particular wardrobe. And get a style that can go easily from day to night again. So maybe not, if you're only investing in one, maybe don't get something that's a work tote. Get something that can transition easily from day to night, so that's big enough to hold stuff for daytime, but nice enough to transition for date night or night out. 5, what can be my 5th option? Oh, I mean, everybody needs a pair of these. Jeans. Obviously distressed jeans are big right now, especially the stiff, authentic variety of Levi's, but I also have heard that the skinny jean is dead. I don't believe it. I refuse to accept it. I have so many. I'm gonna keep wearing them. And they're polished. They're really, you can wear them again to the office on casual Fridays or every day if you work in a more casual setting. They can be dressed up with blazers and heels, with leather jackets, with any kind of blouse. Great for travel. Like you can pack one pair and wear it with so many different things. And I think it's worth investing in a good pair. Obviously, I have the ones I'm wearing right now are from J. Crew Factory of all places, and they're great. But I also love frame jeans. I love mother denim. And then J Brand's Maria Fit is another great high-rise skinny style, but something with no rips, something that can truly be transitional and versatile for day or night. So those would be the 5 items in your wardrobe that I would highly recommend every woman have. I think they're all closet essentials, and definitely worth splurging on if you have the opportunity. But you can obviously find any of those at any price point. So that is really the roundup that I have of questions for getting to know me. I hope this was helpful and hope you feel like you know me a little bit better, know some about my personality, about my background before I started blogging, that kind of thing. If you have any other questions, feel free to comment below. I'm happy to do another one of these in the future, or even a Q&A on Snapchat, or maybe even a live thing on Instagram. Haven't quite gotten into that yet, but perhaps soon. But thanks again for tuning in, and I will be back soon with another video. I'll talk to you guys later.